guys, welcome back. I'm Jason Salyer, and today we're going to be doing a little bit of stocking up because if you've watched the news recently, the world is coming to an end. I'm not necessarily on board with that line of thinking. However, I do think it's important to be prepared, and this should be just a normal part of your everyday life is acquiring some of the supplies that you may need if supply chain should go down. And I'm going to just take you on a tour of what I may be looking at in this store and stocking up on. Most of our bulk supplies come from a local place called Bread Becker's, but every now and then we come down to the Costco here and store up, load up on some things, and that's what we're going to be doing today. So come along for the ride. I got to mask up to avoid the Wuhan flu, the Kung Fu flu, and plus I feel like a cowboy when I wear this, which is nice. Alright, so primarily the things that I look for have a long shelf life, and this powdered peanut butter lasts a year longer than if you were just to buy a regular jar of peanut butters, and that's a good thing. So this one doesn't expire till, I think, December, what did it say? December 2022. We also buy our daily goods here as well, the stuff like breads and that kind of stuff, but this kind of stuff is stuff you want to look out for, something that's going to last a long time and not go bad. So whenever I come to town, which is not very much, I like to go incognito in disguise. And the good thing about the coronavirus is the mask. But whenever I come to town, I like to put on my skinny jeans so I look like a hipster. Here's another product that I'm a pretty big believer in. My granny is 86 years old, and she drinks a little bit of this every day in her water. And she takes 0 medications. So I think there might be something to be said about that. And I use this kind of like a mouthwash as well. And I'm a big believer in the apple cider vinegar. Coconut oil has a pretty long expiration date on it. This one's good till September 2022. It does change the flavor of your foods just a little bit, but for the most part, I like it. What in the world is this? Pork panko, pork rind crumbs. That sounds magnificent. I don't know what you'd do with that. I guess fry with it maybe or something? Breading? Something like this is not my preferred choice, but for long-term storage and an instant coffee, if you don't have a way to grind beans and things like that, or make yourself a cup of joe, this would be very convenient. Don't forget about your pooch, unless you're planning on eating it when the grid goes down. Costco is not as crazy as I thought it was going to be. I thought it was going to be a lot more insane in light of current events. On our way down, just to utilize our time wisely, I picked up a dozen food grade buckets to store a lot of these supplies that we're going to be picking up and putting in Mylar bags. And these buckets were $3 a piece from Firehouse Subs, and a little bit of the proceeds from our purchase goes to helping firefighters out. So I thought that was a wise purchase. Costco was not nearly as crazy as I expected it to be in light of all of the chaos that's kind of going on in the world and in Washington. But I expect that to change when things, well, hopefully they don't, but I expect that to change when things are actually on fire again. People tend to wait until they can see the storm on the horizon before they prepare for it. And that's the mistake. And I think maybe that's the primary thing that I'd like for you guys to take away from it, is that you don't wait to the last minute to do these types of things. I'm not saying run to the store right now and fill up 3 carts full of groceries. I'm saying each time that you go, anyway, you're going there anyway, each time that you go, get a little bit more so you can put some stuff aside. Get that stuff with the longer shelf life and store it up. And that way you have it for that rainy day, for those times that they might not be available. I don't live my life in fear of anything. I don't live my life in fear of a coronavirus. I don't live my life in fear of riots and civil unrest and none of that. I carry on being a happy-go-lucky guy, regardless of what's going on in the world, for a couple of different reasons. Reason one is that I have faith that if I was to kick the bucket right now, I would spend the rest of my life in heaven. And I believe that very strongly, and I think that having that faith in a higher power and something much, much bigger than this world gives you the courage to run headfirst into the storm that may be coming along. The other reason why I don't fear what is, you know, potentially coming, whether that be economic collapse or zombie pirates, is because I've spent a long time preparing for these types of things. I've developed skills, I've developed knowledge, and I have acquired the things that may see my family through a rough patch. And that, in and of itself, gives me a tremendous amount of confidence and allows me to live my life the way I want, unafraid. So I really appreciate you guys watching. And we'll see you on the next video.